Good morning everyone, I'm Miss Rose and welcome to Discrete Mathematics. Our lesson for today is about basic logic. Our learning outcomes: learn the basic of logic. Next is determine the truth values of a proposition. Next is to determine the validity of the arguments. Last is to familiarize with symbols and language of logic. So what is logic? So, logic in mathematics is concerned with formal reasoning of proofs of mathematical statement, the nature of proof, and other aspects of foundation of mathematics. Next is proposition. In proposition, it is the declarative sentence that is either true or false, but can never be both. It's subject to affirmation or denial. That is proposition. For example, so determine each of the statement is a proposition if it's a proposition or not. So first, a square has 4 sides. It is complete thought, complete sentence. It is proposition. And the truth value is true. So next, keep this chapter. Sa this sentence pa lang, it is not complete thought, it is not proposition. Next, number 3, odd numbers are in multiples of 2. So, it is proposition. But, the truth value niya is false. Because odd number is not, and 2 is even number, not odd number. Next, number 4, the most perfect shape is a circle. So, number 4, it is not a proposition. Because it's not implied the truthfulness. So, not proposition. Proposition. And last, number 5, a prime number has 2 factors. So, in number 5, it is proposition because it implies the truthfulness, proposition. And the truth value niya is true. So, prime number, it implies to number 2. Start with 2. And next is the affirmation and negative proposition. So, negative proposition, it is a quantity. In negative, it is a quantity of a proposition wherein the class designated by the subject is not in the class designated by its predicate. And in affirmation, it is the quantity of proposition wherein the class designated by the subject is within the class designated by its predicate. For example, affirmation. So, a right triangle is a triangle with right triangle. That is correct. 2 plus 2 equals 6, or 2 plus 2 equals 2 plus 2 equals 4, or 2 plus 2 equals to 6. Complete thought siya. It is true. Ito hindi. So, affirmation. And next is all whales are mammals. So, this is one of example of affirmation. Sa negative naman, a trapezoid is not a parallelogram. So, negative or not, or wrong information. Next is Barack Obama is not the president of the United States. So, that is not true. It is negative. So, and number 3, this all rhombus are not quadrilateral. So, that is not true. That is one of the example of negative proposition. Next is the logical connectives. In logical connectives is a word or the symbols used to connect two proposition to produce grammatically valid compound proposition. And one of the example, the connective symbol and types of statement. Sa and ang word niya, this is the symbol. And this a type of the statement is conjunction. Pag ito ang symbol niya, in word siya, or the type of statement niya is disjunction. The next is F then. So, ito ang symbol niya, and this statement is conditional. Pag itong symbol niya, kung i-word siya, if and only if. So, kung in statement niya is by conditional. Pag not siya, ito ang symbol, it means negation. That is the one of example of logical connectives. For example na given ang P na I will study hard, and given ang Q, I will get high grades. So, express the following symbols to a sentence. So, these symbols is negation. Or, ang meaning niyan is not. So, kung i-sentence siya, I will not study hard. So, next example niya is P and Q. So, this symbol is or. To the symbol or. So, or. So, i-sentence siya. So, i-sentence siya na I will study hard or I will get high grade. High grades. So, next is not P and Q. So, not P and Q. So, this is not. This is N. So, i-sentence siya na I will not study hard. And I will get high grades. So, yan ang word niya to this symbol. Next is implication. This signs is implication. This kind of statement. So, implication, ang word niya, if P then. So, if P then Q. So, kung ano niya, if I study hard, Ang then niya, pwede then, or comma. So that's also the meaning of then. Then I will get high grades. Or kung wala siyang comma, if I study hard, then I will get high grades. So, that's it. And number 5, na not P. If P then, so, kung number 5, for example, ibahon ta, since may similarity lang sa 4. So, ibahon ta. Ganyan. This symbols is biconditional. Kung biconditional. So, ang ano niyan, ang word niyan ng biconditional, P, F, wait. So, yung biconditional niya, kung i-word, P, F, and only FQ. So, kung i-word siya, I will not study hard if and only if I will get high grade or high grades. High grades. So, that's it. And thank you and God bless. Good morning everyone, I'm Miss Rose and welcome to Dicrete Mathematics. So this is the continuation of our topic last week about basic logic. The topic for today is truth tables. So what is truth tables? So truth tables tells the truthfulness of the compound proposition given the truthfulness of each simple proposition that composed it. So this is also to show the truthfulness of a proposition in tabular form. So in tabular form, in table, example P and Q, given na truth values na true, true, or true, false. So this is one of the example of truth tables. So next, points to remember that in negation of a true statement is false. So in negation na true, opposite niya equals to false. And also in negation of a false statement is true. So false, opposite niya is true. So in conjunction, it is one of the proposition is false, then the entire compound proposition is false. In disjunction naman is one of the proposition is true, then the entire compound proposition is true. So, opposite sila ng conjunction and disjunction. An example of truth tables for negation, that given the P, the truth values niya is true and false, and false. So, in negation P or not P, so sometimes ang ito na symbols, ganyan, So, and P, truth values na true. In negation yan, magiging false, opposite. Same as the P given ng false niya, opposite to this false is true. In negation P. So, that is one of the example in negation. How about in negation of a true statement is false? In a statement, example, the smallest natural numbers is 1. So, this is true. Then, the smallest natural number is not 1. So, automatically false. So, that is one of the example in a statement. So, negation. The next is the negation of true statement is true. So, there is a whole number less than 0. Automatically, false yan siya. Then, there is no whole number less than 0. That is true. So, that is the one of the example of negation in true statement. This is true. The next, how about conjunction? Example of two tables in conjunction. To this symbol na conjunction na end, na given the P and Q, that P, true, true, false, false, and Q, true, false, true, false. Then, P and Q. So, meaning si P and Q are equal. So, P na given na true is equal to the Q na given na true. The answer is true statement. And the next is true ang P, but ang Q is false. Hindi siya equal. Automatically, false yan siya. Then, ang given niya, false siya. Then, ang Q niya is true, not equal. Automatically, false yan siya. But, and false sa P given ng P, also ang Q given ng false. False, false equals to false. So, that is the conjunction. Example in a statement. That statement 1, a square is both equiangular and equilateral. That is true. Well, truth values niya. And a square is not equiangular but equilateral. That is false. And also, a square is equiangular but not equilateral. This is also false. And a square is both not equiangular and not equilateral. That's automatically false. So, that is the example of the statements of conjunction. Next, how about disjunction? In disjunction, giving the symbol disjunction or, so given the P and Q, P, true, true, false, false, and Q, true, false, true, false. So, in P, given the true, and Q, given the true, automatically, P or Q is true. So, in P, may true, and Q, may false. As long as there is true, automatically, in disjunction, that is true. Also, false and true. As long na pareha sa, kahit saan sa ila, may true, automatically, that is true. In disjunction. Kasi or. So, unlike sa given the P, false, given the Q, false. Walang true siya. No true statement or true. That is false. As long as in disjunction na pag-or, basta ang P and Q sa containing true tables or true statement, that's automatically false. And when the false false ang dalawa, that is automatically false. Dahil walang true statement sa dalawang false. So, that is the disjunction. Then, example of the statement na a square is either equiangular or equilateral. That is true statement. Then, a square is either not equiangular or equilateral. That is true statement. Then, a square is either equiangular or not equilateral. That is true. And disjunction. So, a square is either not equiangular or not equilateral. That is false. So, next, in implication. So, medyo tricky implication na giving na these symbols na if P, then Q. So, given the P and Q, na true, true, false, false, and the Q, true, false, true, false. So, since si P, if P, then Q are saying true, that is true. But, in P, true, and Q is false. Hindi the same true, true, or false, false. Automatically, if implication, that is false. Same as, pero pag P false, if P, then Q true, in implication, automatically true. Unlike this two false and PQ, that is true in implication. So that is one of the example of two tables in implication. So example, statement in implication. If 2 is a prime, then it has exactly two factors. That is true statement. If 2 is a prime number, then it does not have exactly two factors. That is false. But if 2 is not a prime number, then it has exactly two factors. That is true. Unless if 2 is not a prime number, then it does not have exactly two distinct factors. That is true. So that is the example statement in implication. So this is your activity. Construct a truth table in this proposition 1 to 4. Thank you and God bless.